Alright, I don't know how loud the video is on this, but
Right.
anyway, this is our first YouTube video. We just picked up metal detecting this last spring of 2013, and we're kind of wanting to show everybody what we got. And when I say we, I'm talking about my brother Bruce. I'm Barry, and this is my brother Bruce.
Hello, people.
And now we're going to give you a little look at what we got.
When we did start out, my brother picked up Excalibur 2, and I had just a little White's metal detector there for quite some time. And he started playing around with his and finding a lot of neat stuff that I probably would have been bypassing with the one that I had. So I ended up having to go pick one up also. So this is my little toy. This is the Excalibur 2. Mine does have an 8-inch on the head for the receptor.
Mine's got a smaller head on it, identical unit.
I went and picked up the wife one. She's having a good time doing it too, so all you out there that got a lady that might be interested, you might want to look into it too. This is a Shark. You see the name on it. It does run off of battery pack that goes inside. It's a totally sealed unit. This particular one, it's kind of sounding like a salesman. It's got a lifetime warranty for $675, so I thought I couldn't pass that up for her. She wasn't going to use it as much as I'm going to use ours. Totally waterproof, just like the Excalibur, and does her just fine. Now it's time to see our find for these few months.
Yep, about 3 months.
Yep.
So, and we picked up stuff a little bit at a time, but now to get to show you what we found. A lot of it's kind of junk, but I mean, even junk is worth something.
This particular one's got an awful lot of shotgun shell cases, a lot of aluminum pull tabs, fishing reels, and I advise anybody that finds this stuff, don't throw it back in the lake or bury it back where you found it. Take it out and bring it home. If you save it for all the period of time that you're doing this, it is worth value. You can save that up, you scrap it out, separate your aluminum, your brass, your coppers. It pays. My brother has got, these are both mine, what I had found, and this is just junk that we have found, pulled out of lakes and whatnot. There's a piece of a prop.
Aluminum.
Yep, so this is all worth, it's all value in the end. So we decided to save everything we found and just help clean the lakes and the land up as we find it. My brother's got pretty much the same amount as what I've got here. This is just mine.
Yep, I got a box of stuff. I'm at my brother's house right now. I got a box of junk, similar, probably the same amount he's got. And now for some of the kind of neater stuff we found.
These are really cool.
All right, on this board we have bullets, rings.
You can see this. These are all rings. Copper, aluminum, some toe rings,
Silver.
some stainless, silver, a lot of silver. A lot of these are vintage rings, they're older rings. There's probably 30 rings here. These are some more rings that he had found. One in particular we were looking at.
Was this one here?
Again. This one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one came out of a lake. Definitely an older vintage ring. It does cut glass. It puts a scratch on glass, and we looked at the stone. We haven't had it looked at yet by a jeweler, but it's a possible. That's a big stone if it is a diamond.
Got a class ring, 10 karat gold from Cadillac, Michigan. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's on there. Quite a few rings, a lot of rings. I've got a Pinfire cartridge that I found.
Pre-Civil War.
Yeah, that was Civil War time or slightly before.
You got whistles that are functioning.
Oh,
Thimbles.
News Star badge.
Yeah.
Cosmetic case.
This is pretty cool, especially being that it still functions. In that particular case, I think dated back in
Early 1900s.
Yep.
And we have a number of coins here. We got some buffaloes. Got a couple V-nickels in here. There's a belt buckle, some old keys.
Old spoon.
Old spoon.
This particular spoon, to all you drug heads out there, I think that this particular spoon, when I looked it up online, it's a silver spoon. If you notice on the end of the handle how that bend is on that, that's for holding on to it. They would cook their heroin in there back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. This spoon dated 1903. So and that's just how I found it. I'm not no drug head.
some drug addict from 1903.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Here's some more coins.
Got some silver dollars. Got some V-nickels. This is some of my brother's stuff on this side.
These are Indian pennies,
1893
1893 and an 1896. Here's a barber quarter, which is in pretty good shape, which kind of surprised me. There's the back side of
it. Mercury dime.
Another Merc.
Silver half. Shotgun shells. Lots of shotgun
them. I've
shells.
got hundreds of those.
And bullets. We found lots of bullets.
If you look at these shotgun shells, these heads, you know that these are old, because these had the old cardboard casing cover on them. So the only thing that we are finding are just these part of the shotgun shell. Very few modern day shells have we found. Most of them have been old.
All right. And a number of jewelry pieces. There's a couple more keys up here.
There's another
Got
whistle.
a whistle.
This is an all copper whistle that was found. I'm not sure what that date's at. I haven't even really tried to look that up. It did come from a place where we found a lot of older stuff.
This cross.
This particular fish lure I found in Cadillac at a little lake. Obviously at one time, to smell this, and even now still, if you smell this, you can smell wood, burnt wood. So either there was a fire, this was up on barren land before the water had rose and covered it and got buried, and somehow was put into a fire, because when I dug it up out of the water, it was probably in 3 foot of water, and smelled it, which I could smell it as soon as I took it out of the scoop, and you could smell the burnt wood.
All right. And we got a big brooch here. Some bracelets. Watch. Another watch.
Then, just to give you an
Rings.
idea, zoom in on here on this bracelet. This is a bracelet. It's in 2 halves right now. I found that Lake of the Woods in Decatur, Michigan. That particular bracelet, just to give you an idea how deep my particular Excalibur went, I had to dig pretty much 18 inches before I found that. It was about 7 scoops that I took before I got that.
Got a thimble, big earring, lots of cars.
A lot of little cars.
Lots of little Hot Wheels, stuff like that. There's another whistle. There we got a tire valve cap. And that dates 1915, I think.
Yeah.
And
This
it has the
pretty
valve.
cool. It has writing on it that's very visible and clear yet. This is the top of it for taking out the valve stem of the tire. Oh. Which I found was pretty unique. And then we turned around and it wasn't much lighter than that. Maybe 3 weeks later, the shithead comes up with this. And this is another tire gauge. And this one is an actual gauge that would test
It comes out.
that would test the air pressure. And he took that to his work and cleaned it all up. It won't function as far as where you put it to the spout.
Yeah, the seals are pretty much gone. in
But
there.
nonetheless, it was a tire gauge, and that particular tire gauge dated back at like 1915.
Yeah.
And that was found 180 miles away from where the first
where
one
the
was
other
found.
one was found. And we got some pendants from necklaces.
This This particular V-nickel, you can't really make it out real good, but it is a V-nickel. 1901, and we found this up at Copper Harbor.
Other side, no. Oh yeah.
This came from Copper Harbor area. We went back in on an old logging trail and found some old stone foundations, and this actually found at the logging trail itself where people drove up and down it. It was laying right on the surface.
Number of dimes, silver coins.
All these pennies are all pennies that were found. These are all wheatbacks over here. A lot of old coins. Very impressive. Do have a little Spanish coin. Which is kind of unique. Not much for value, probably $10 or so, but I thought it was pretty cool.
A lot of cool stuff.
All of these here.
Yeah, pennies.
These are all
All
wheatbacks. And we did find one steel penny, but that didn't come from the metal detecting. My wife found that, which was a 1943 steel. I thought was unique because I'd never found one before. So
Yeah.
I put that in the pack too.
And some of these, not all these coins were found, but all the pennies were, like the $50 and stuff. Those are stuff that I just had. Pretty much all the pennies are all wheatbacks dating back to probably 1909. Might be one or two Indian heads in here. There's a ring.
That was my first peace signal ring, peace sign ring. My brother Barry, he had found like a peace sign earring, a necklace, and another small peace sign ring before I found this. So he had three things that I didn't have, which kind of got me. As far as the nickel,
There's the necklace.
yeah.
Here's the earring.
And the damnedest thing about the earring is the place he found that, I went over, had it in the scoop, it fell through twice, and I didn't continue looking for it. And then he followed through and found it.
Yeah, got a crab. Little gems in it, a little charm. I believe this is probably a bell from a horse harness. I'm not sure, but
That's good.
kind of
Good
what it looks
thought,
like.
yeah.
Oh,
That's a good thought.
but, yeah, quite a big variety of stuff. There's a
This
horn.
is a horn, old horn to a boat.
We can read that on there or not, but that's all aluminum.
You
Oh,
see
wait.
the opening where the horn, the noise is coming through. That's kind of unique. Definitely an older model horn. I don't think he's probably done any research, see it age-wise, but it's
Like my
most-
brother was saying, you know, the aluminum and the brass, the copper, it's all worth money, so we keep it all. And the junk stuff we just throw in a box or a
There's
bucket.
a nice brass blade, quite heavy,
Blade off a prop on a boat.
and actually threaded in. That was a shaft that stuck out. I'm going to think threads were on it.
Yeah, I would think.
This
There's
prop,
a full prop.
we found that all together. First, this piece came out, which was the cone. And I walked that up, give it to my granddaughter on shore. She wanted to see it. She was up on shore metal detecting when we was in this particular lake out in Cassopolis. It was called Stone Lake. I went back out to see if my brother had went back over the spot, and he said no. So I went back over it, and at that point in time, all I had was the White's metal detector, and I could only get in the water just to a certain point. And that day I didn't have a scoop, so he came back over with a scoop and went to digging some more, run his wand over it, and it triggered again. He dug more, and here was the other part of the prop. So it was all together. When I took it in to have it dated, the blades on it, actually, if you put it on today's motor and put it in drive and went to go, you'd be going in reverse. Blades are reverse pitch.
Left-handed pitch on the prop.
Yep. And when I had it dated, they justified it between 1913 and 1916 and said it was either a Johnson or Evinrude.
So that was interesting. And I got a few coins in cases here. I got a Barber